Why do you think so many UFOs spottings are happening around these nuclear sites?
Multiple reasons. One, they're very concerned that we would actually do something that could threaten the life of biological life on Earth. And believe it or not, these civilizations are very positively concerned with the human future. But they're also secondarily concerned about containing the warlike nature of humans from being exported out into space. Now, the nuclear issue, when you detonate a nuclear device or there's an accident, everyone knows what an EMP is. We've talked about electromagnetic pulse. There's also a type of scalar pulse that goes out that literally rips through space-time that disrupts interstellar communication and travel. So basically, when we did that at the first atomic bomb explosion, it actually was like kicking a hornet's nest. Now, Edward Teller and Oppenheimer, they didn't know that when one of those things would go off, that it would create this kind of pulse, not electromagnetic pulse, but this other wave that actually goes through the entangled cosmos in a way that is highly disruptive to other civilizations, communications, and travel. So this began to be a huge red flag went up over the Earth. Warning, this is a group of primitive emerging civilization that is a threat to themselves and a threat to others out there. They don't even know what a big threat this is. So the whole nuclear issue is what caused the modern era of UFO ET-related events to take place, because I think they've obviously been watching the Earth and been involved in seeing its development for millennia. There's good evidence for that. There are cave drawings from 5,000 years ago that have been carbon dated to that age that show a classic disc, look like ET beings outside of it from France and India and all over. It's not as if they didn't know we were here. It's that when we hit that point, and what they really were trying to get Truman and Eisenhower to do, the ETs, go on a different trajectory, which is what we're recommending now, 60 years later, and that is pivot to getting rid of this conflict-oriented endless war scenario with these kind of weapons and move towards a peaceful solution to our conflicts, but then begin to adopt these technologies so that human civilization can advance without cannibalizing the Earth and killing off the oceans. So I think this is something that we took a pass on. It was a tragic error. The big error happened on here. I'm just be honest with you. When Eisenhower subsequently lost control over these deep black operations, that's when he gave the beware the military-industrial complex. I mean, he was very pro-military. He was a general, World War II. And then, of course, that's why also one of the early directors of CIA, 1947, when the CIA was founded, Admiral Roscoe Hillenkoetter, stated in a letter to the New York Times after Eisenhower gave that speech, and he said, the secrecy around UFOs is a threat to the national security. He didn't say the UFOs were. He said the secrecy around it is a threat to the national security. So when people ask me, are the UFOs a threat to the national security? I said the man-made ones absolutely are. The extraterrestrial ones aren't. But the secrecy around it in its aggregate is a dire threat to world and national security, no question.